Morning, everyone, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. How about happy Sunday to everyone? Well, I guess that wouldn't work either, depending on where you are. Anyways, good day. Ah, drinking my coffee. Today, I'm heading off to my son's, his fiance. I just call her my daughter-in-law because they live together and they've lived together for quite some time. And the grandson for supper later. So I just thought I'd get this video in before I head off. So hope everybody's having a great day. It's rainy, dreary here. Again, April showers. Hopefully are going to bring some May flowers, but we've got snow down too, and that's just so yucky to see. But it is what it is. Ah, so just a little bit of this and that. Speaking of snow, I was watching a video the other day of Eric Rader and Cheryl walking along the beach, and I believe it was Clearwater, Florida, and I'm so jealous to be sitting here with the cold weather, the heat still on, and looking at the snow on the ground, and then looking at those two frolicking along the beach and the warmth and the color of the water and uh but it was I said I actually feel the warmth and the serenity just watching that, and I honestly truly did. It brought a warmth over me. This eye's gonna water on me today because it got a little irritated earlier. Anyways, allergy season. um Yeah, so, that was nice watching that. We have a knife hoarder, who is in the hospital and, having some procedures done there due to some cardiovascular issues. Cardio, I guess. Well, whatever. It all goes together. And, I know all about that. And, my husband just went through some of that as well with the pulse racing and up and down, and his blood pressure up and down, and he was having blackouts, and, he had to go off work for a bit. And he's the truck driver, so he certainly couldn't be on the road driving, big machinery. In that way, because he kept feeling like he was gonna pass out. So he was off work for a bit. He's back to work now, but anyways, I am sending out um, positive vibes and healing vibes and lots of hearts his way from us here in this household, and hopefully that'll get all sorted out, and hopefully he won't have to go under the knife. So yeah. And what else? What else has been going on? Well, I guess that creep, what's his name? No, I'm glad I don't remember. Thank God for short-term memory. Um, Russell Brand. I was gonna say Russell Crowe. God, no. Russell Brand, I guess, uh, we heard a little bit about that a while ago, but it seems to be confirmed now that the guy's a skank. Like, let's get real. Like, he's a skank. So, and I guess that's being proven. And I mean, ugh, he's so gross. Yeah. So, and Val Kilmer is gone, and he was only in his 60s, I think 65, maybe a little bit older. That's not that old. I'm 53, so 60s is not old to me. 70s is not old to me. I worked in geriatrics a good portion of my career, so yeah, 70s is still young to me. But anyways, I enjoyed his acting, and of course I had a big old crush on him back in the day. Like every other female. um And yeah, so that's sad, but the cycle of life, eh? Yeah. And yeah, so I watched Susie and Behind the Bar Sam the other day, and I don't really know a lot about Sam, or I watched his video this morning because I saw him on Susie's channel um, the other day, or I guess uh, was the second last video of hers I watched. I watched another one after that, and yeah, so I got to learn a little bit more about who he is, and I was AWOL when that whole thing was going on with him and Tommy starting a channel and all of that. Um, so I didn't really know who he was, and yeah, same as Tommy and Reese together and all that stuff. I wasn't really aware of a lot of that was going on until I came back to view those channels, and which I'm glad I missed it all. I wouldn't have watched that anyways. I've never ever watched Reese, so I've never cared for her. She's a woman without couth, and in my opinion, and I went to her channel a few times, and I just found her just not appealing at all, and very ignorant at times, seemed to would have a certain pick on certain people, and even noticed it towards myself at times, and just thinking like, lady, you don't even know me, I don't know you. How you can just pick a person out of your chat and just start to kind of poke at them is a bit ridiculous. But anyways, there are some people that always have to have somebody to pick on. So that leads me to the next thing I'd like to discuss, and that is Susie. So I watched Susie's last video. Well, to me, it would be her last video right now. She may have put another one out since then, but it was the last one I watched where, she let it all out, and you go, girl, let it all out. I think she's earned it, the way that she was treated, the things that were said about her. And, when Reese did her fake apology, which, come on, when you have to be urged to apologize, and then you apologize, and then you intentionally leave somebody out who you've said some pretty disgusting things about, you're still doing the same thing because it was intentionally, and it was again just to have that pick on somebody, and it was Susie. And so yeah, like, again, disgusting and just no couth. So um when you've had those things said about you, and um I think you've earned the right to speak out and say what you want and feel what way you want. And I mean, that last video, I've watched of Susie's, that was her letting out a lot of not hate, hurt, hurt and anger, um, because she was uh, close to that community and was involved in that with that channel and chat, and treating people that way is disgusting, and it causes people to have pent up feelings. And at some point, an individual's going to let it out. So if it's just going on your YouTube channel and letting out that hurt and disappointment and uh, whatever you want to call it, then so be it. And she's earned the right to be able to do that because of what was done to her. So for people to say anything about it, I mean, come on, get real. So if someone come out and slapped you in the face, uh, and then, not just once, mind you, slapped you in the face over and over and over, and then you do something, back to basically stand your ground, stick up for yourself, and kinda just vent in a way, but in laughter. So that was what her parody was venting with laughter is how I saw it, in my opinion. And, so what? So what? Whoop-de-doo. And the parody was funny anyways. I was drinking my coffee while I was watching it, and I mean, it was all humorous to me, but, you have that point where you're watching something funny, whether it's a comedy movie or whatever, where that one scene that you just bust a gut and lose it, and when she did the part with the dog, well, I think it was the teddy bear in the, video that Susie did, and that's Susie Olberholtz, but First Coffee, by the way. Go to her channel. She's awesome, and she's funny. And, yeah, I think she used a teddy bear, not an actual dog, but, uh, if you know who Reese is with the little dog, you would get the joke, but anyways, I was drinking my coffee, and I had coffee in my mouth when I just lost it laughing at that. I busted a gut. Yeah, it's funny, but anyways, you go, girl, Susie. You're allowed. You earned it. I mean, if someone like me were to sit here and do that, it would be ridiculous, but for Susie to do it, like, yeah, go for it. Um, anyways, I'm gonna try to get to topic here because, as I said, I am heading out here soon, and I still have a little bit of housework to do too, and, um yeah, what else did I wanna touch on that's going on? I think that's it, as far as a little this and that. Yeah, so let's get into it, folks. Let's do this. Alright, so the back 20 years ago, and I'm gonna try to do this quickly too and do it in a way so that I just don't feel so many visceral things about it. Feelings. Um, yeah, so back 20 years ago when the whole chatting scene first exploded, and that would have been the MSN chat, the AOL, Yahoo, yeah, there was different places you could go to do the chatting. And for me, I pretty much stuck to I think it was the MSN chat. I shouldn't really say what I stuck to because honestly, it was in between all of them, but, um, the MSN chat seems to stick out in my mind. So, I became a big part of a community just as I was becoming a part well, not was, but I did become a part of the community, the SPTV and extended communities, and those are my channels I went to, and well, back in the day, um there was kind of a similar idea. There would be, like, kinda that chat room that started, and it became big, and then there was some offshoots of that, some people that were in those chats that might have started their own chat room that was related to similar topic, and, um, it had to do with healthcare, so there there was one healthcare chat room in particular that became big, and it was the place to go. And but then there was, a few well, maybe a couple or a few offshoots of that, of other people who kinda started their own as well. So, yeah, but that chat room became a place where people ended up coming that would be seeking help, and you have to understand this is when chat rooms first started. I mean, it was, like, new, brand new, um, and there was no, really designated place to go that would have like a doctor or somebody in there to deal with mental health and especially of the youth. So because that ended up, there was healthcare workers coming in and out of that chat, or there was a healthcare worker pretty much there always, as long as everybody was truly who they were saying they were, obviously, because people can lie behind that name, behind that account, or what be it. And it wasn't like this back then. You didn't see the person. It was just names and a picture, usually if not the picture of the person. And then if you want it, you would share a picture privately if you got to know somebody and felt you could trust them or whatever and didn't mind people knowing what you look like or what may be it. But anyways, so it became big for people coming in there, and saying, wanting to talk about the fact that they had an addiction or they had mental illness or um, whatever the case may be, being abused. But it ended up that there was a lot of youth coming in there and, you know, having also youth with drug issues, issues with their parents, issues with uh, abuse, mental health issues, and it seemed to be get becoming bigger and bigger in that way. Like every day there was tons and tons of youth coming in there with these issues. Um, and which really wasn't a good thing because it wasn't a place that was had authorized trained people to deal with those things. So a person with a brain in their head, of course, would appropriately, you know, give out like the number to call. Well, here's the number to call, and that's what you have to do. This place is not meant, you can stay here, but um, we are not meant to help you in that way. This is the number you have to call. And but anyways, like I said, if you have a brain in your head, and that's the appropriate thing to do. Um, Outside of that, there were people that would just come in there to chat. They weren't healthcare workers. They weren't seeking any kind of help. They just enjoyed that chat room and they would come in and chat. There was people that ended up meeting and becoming couples and similar to what goes on now, except with that abundance of youth involved, which you don't really see now in this community, um, which is good because they should have their own peer-to-peer place to go, or if they need help with any of those above mentioned issues, they should be calling the right channel or number um, to help them, or going to their parents if they can. Some kids obviously can't. But anyways, um, there was one particular person that used to come into this chat room, and it was almost like he was the mascot of the chat room. Um, he Everybody just took to him like he, no matter what, he was able to magnet everybody towards him. Um, and his screen name was Burnt, Burnt is how he spelt it. And the purpose of that was because he was a chef slash baker, or baker slash chef, whatever. And he, burnt. So he burnt the cookies, or he burnt the bread, or he burnt the biscuits, or I don't know what he would cook besides baking, but anyways, I guess I can name the baked products, but, um, he burnt the steak on wine or whatever fancy stuff is made. But, yeah, so that's and plus the fact that he was, the hippy dippy burnt, pothead. So it was like everything rolled up in one. And, anyways, and I liked him. I liked him, like, he knew how to reach those things that would charm you, like, he could charm, manipulate, as I soon learned, um, but he could charm, and everybody just thought he was the cat's meow. Um, but it eventually I started to believe just from and I won't go into detail of the particulars of, what made me think this, but I just eventually started realizing that I think this guy's a predator. Just some things that put my red flag up. Like, I'm pretty sure this guy's a predator. There's something going on here. We've got all this youth coming into this room. They're all vulnerable. Any youth that came in there was vulnerable. It was the only reason why they were coming into that chat. And I did find out that he was like doing private chats with them. And I was thinking, well, what would a man want to be doing private chats with these youths for? And it didn't matter whether it was female or male. Um, and then I found some other stuff out, and I was like, "Nah, that's not, appropriate." And I mean, he would talk a lot about how it's okay to show your nude body, like the grooming that started. And um and that whole room was groomed. To me, I was the only one, it seemed, that was thinking, "Well, no, no, that's not okay." Like, no, like, if you think it's okay, well, go join a nude beach colony or whatever. Why are you on here in a chat room where there's lots of youth and everybody else acts appropriate because we know they're in there? And no, that's not the place to be. Or go to a chat room that doesn't have the youth, bombarding it. But anyways, it just my red flags were going up, and um, some other things too. And I just thought, no, there's something going on here. So I I couldn't help myself. I just thought, if this guy is a predator, I have to find out and I have to report it. And the only way I'm going to find out um, is by pretending that I'm a youth and see what he does. So that I did. And uh, and you have to understand too, at this stage of my life, my kids were young. They would have been like 5, 6, 6, 7, around there. Um, and if I'm calculating that right, around there. I might be off a little bit. They, when you first have your children, um, there are some things in your life that you may question, but after you have your children, you just know that are wrong. And that when you were a child, you were around predators, and that these things are wrong, and you're going to do everything to protect your children from that. There's things you're just never going to do to your children or allowed to be done to your children. And that's the stage where I was. Well, and still am and will always be. But, uh, and I had a lot of fight in me to want to bring it to light to other people and fight against stuff like that. I was very outspoken about it, or if I thought somebody was a pervert, I would just tell them. um, I went after a man who offered my kid, well, both of them, candy instead of going through me first and asking permission from me as the mother, "Can they have some candy?" And, because it's just, creepy, but anyways, and I was never gonna take any chances, but that's where I was, the stage I was in my life at that point when this had kinda all was taking place. So, yeah, so I was like, "If this guy's a predator, he needs to be reported." So I did what I hated to do because I hate those people doing those multiple fake accounts and, Reese and Brett. I just can't stand that stuff. But anyways, I did it, and I thought, "Well, I'm doing it for a good purpose, so whatever." So I kinda did my own undercover investigation to catch a predator. And, anyways, long story short, the guy was a predator, and I had all the evidence. He eventually ended up sending me inappropriate images. Of course, I didn't put my picture there. I had something else that made me, look more youthful. I might even took a picture of myself. It might have been my picture when I was a youth. I can't remember. I think I feel like I asked my sister permission to use her picture when she was a youth, because we were all adults at that time. But anyways, um, and so he ended up sending me inappropriate pictures of himself, which honestly I didn't look at. The parts that were inappropriate, I looked at his face. I took a good look at his face. I wanted to know what he looked like. Well, as soon as I saw him, I was just like, "Oh God, gross." But his face, of course, stuck in my head. And I have a pretty good long-term memory. My short-term memory is, oh, it's terrible, like I explained in my first video. Um, but my long-term memory is pretty good. Uh, so and some other details about this gentleman was that he lived in California. He wanted to live in the Keys, and the Keys was better than California, and he loved the Keys, and he went on about the Keys. Um, and it was always what he baked, as soon as he come into the chat, the administrators, "Oh, what you bake today, Bert?" And then all that. And it was just like everybody was over him like butter. It was just unreal how he had everybody just so wrapped and manipulated. And so, yeah, and he baked, he in a, wherever it was that he worked, I just knew that he baked. And, um, what else? Uh, sorry. And yeah, he wanted, and I could never understand, like, he keeps saying he wants to, he loves the Keys, he wants to live in the Keys, and Keys, Keys, Keys. And I thought, well, if you want to so bad, why aren't you? Like, what is the deal? And, I thought about it there a bit ago. Um, and I thought, oh, he's probably not allowed. Or he's got somebody after him or whatever, right? For the things that he's done. So, anyway, um, I took the information I had and I contacted law enforcement. And I'm in Canada, this gentleman is in the States. So the information I gave to, law enforcement, of course, he had to, then deal with, um, the US, law enforcement. And, unfortunately, they couldn't use what I did to do any kind of arrest or anything like that. I wasn't working for them as an informant. or I don't even know if it's called working. I don't know how that works. Being an informant, if it's free or you get paid. I'm assuming they probably do get paid. But anyways, I either way, I was not an informant under them. However, I mean, they certainly wanted that information because it would allow them to be able to start an investigation and get their own informant and do what they had to do to catch this guy, or act as undercover themselves, or whatever the case may be. Um, so, um, once that was all done, I was told to stay out of that chat room from now on. Just stay out and whatever. But I couldn't, because I'm the type of person that I have to know, are they really going to try to catch this guy? Or is this just, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we'll get him. Yeah. Uh, and he's just going to continue to go on and do what he's doing. And, anyway, so I did go back into the chat because I just had to know, like, are they really working on this guy? And I don't even know if there was a way that I'd be able to find out, because if they had an informant working for them in there and in the other chats, because he didn't just go in that chat, he was all over the place, this guy, um, and had different uh, profiles and whatnot. But I obviously wouldn't really know if, well, I guess if I seen him, with certain teens, I might suspect that, oh, that could be the police officers undercover and informant undercover, working on, trying to get him or whatever. But anyways, um, I can't. The police ended up finding out. The law enforcement found out that I was going back in there and got after me. And so that is what told me that, okay, they are in there, because if they know that I'm in there and they're seeing me and now they're getting after me, then they are in there and they are keeping an eye on this. So then that told me, yeah, okay, we're good. um, but I had left. But another thing too, when I had first realized what he was doing, um, I had, uh, informed a young girl who I knew was in there talking to this gentleman, and I I wanted to tell her right away, because again, even if the police are gonna work on this, he's doing something to this girl right now, trying to get her. And this guy it was guys or girls. It didn't matter. It was young girls, young guys. Um, and, I mean, and that's not uncommon. I've done a lot of study, on this topic, and that's not uncommon. People like that don't care if it's female or male. They're either into both, and I know it's so disgusting, or one will lead them to what they do prefer, if you know what I'm saying. But anyways, that's, I've had discussions with police officers about this stuff, and I've done a lot of study about it. So that's just a fact. So, oh, where was I? Oh, yes. So I did tell this young girl, he seemed to like the ones from UK for some reason, and he would actually say that. He would say that. It was so disgusting. But anyways, and I could never understand why, but now I understand later. I guess it has to do with the whole age thing, and what you can get charged with and not, and so on. But when someone's saying, "Oh yeah, I like the ones from UK," and you're thinking, "Well, that doesn't make sense. Like, a person is a person. What would make you like these people from UK other than somewhere else?" But that's what he was getting at, was due to the whole laws with the age and stuff. God, it's so disgusting. Ugh. Anyways, and so yeah, I had said something to this girl because, again, I wanted her to know right away because, like, I thought, well, what if something happens to her in the meantime before they can get him or whatever, right? Um, so I said something to her, and then it became known in this chat room. So, and that's when I realized pretty much 90% of those in that chat room were okay with this. They started harassing me. Um, I mean, oh yeah, like they had the hate on for me. I was treated with hatred. And that really shocked me. I thought, I can't believe this. Like really? And they were, one of them tried to convince me that, well, you're from Canada and it's different there. Here in the US, stuff like this is okay and we keep our mouths shut about it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Uh, guess what? I'll make sure to tell law enforcement that too. So y'all can go down with them. But nothing against the US because that's not true. That is absolutely not true. That's just crazy predatory dog and or somebody who is been manipulated terribly. Sounds like something Jen Soto would say. Um, anyways, groomed. I mean, he had that room groomed. The adults in that room so groomed. Um, ugh. And I'm sure some of them were predators as well, just as he was. In fact, I'm sure that he was not the only one, but because that's where the predators go. So, anyways, yeah. So, um, yeah, the police found out I was going back in there, and that's probably why. I was like the big talk of the chat room because I reported a predator to the law enforcement. Can you imagine that? This shit don't go on in this neck of the woods. In these neck of the woods. Uh, anyways. So once law enforcement again told me, stay out of here. And I knew that they were doing what they were supposed to do. I stayed out. And that was it. I was done. I wiped my hands with the whole chat thing. I was done of it. And I never really knew what had happened, what the final outcome was. I mean, I certainly felt they're going to get him eventually, whether it be soon or later. They are going to get him because they were watching him. And but I never knew what the outcome was. And eventually after time, it just, goes away because the whole thing, it was somewhat traumatizing. It wasn't a nice thing to have to go through and to deal with and to have to talk to law enforcement and fill them in on all the stuff that I'd seen and heard. And I was very, happy about reporting it once I confirmed it. I knew I was doing the right thing. But to have to talk about, and to even have his new picture, like just ugh, ugh. Anyways, and to know that he was thinking he was sending that to a child was disgusting. Um, anyway, so yeah, I never knew. I never knew. And, I just put that at the back of my head and always hoped that the right thing was done and they got him. And anyways, then I'm going to share this. Oh, there, I was like, "Geez, where am I at?" No. Oh, oh, darn, sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to do that again, I messed it up. No, it's still there. What's going on there now? Oh, that's why. I'm just trying to get it so that he's not anyways, well, he's huge. Bleh. Um, oh, it just makes me sick looking at him. Woof. Anyways, so all these years later, I come back on, I talked about my break in my first video from the SPTV community and extended communities. And I come back and I'm kind of getting caught up on stuff that had been going on because I really honestly didn't know about this and all these things that were being said about Marilyn and other channels and Reese and Tommy and all that, Brett, aka Tommy, and all that stuff, which I guess we'll get into tomorrow because we're at 42 minutes now. And um, I didn't even get there yet, and I have it in my topic, but that's okay. I can take that out, and we'll get to that tomorrow. But I'm watching Marilyn's video that says we have a predator in our midst. I'm like, I honestly thought it was going to be about Tommy because he is a predator of a different sort. Well, let's hope he's not doing stuff like this. Let's hope. We know what Tommy did in school to a young girl, and that's no different. That's the same. That's the same. But I hope now, currently, he's not online doing this stuff. But honestly, I have to be honest, it wouldn't shock me if he is. And to even, for Tommy to grape a 15-year-old while he's 17 years old and in a horrific way, in the school and in the stairwell. I mean, come on. There's something wrong with somebody doing that. And that's not something that goes away. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. And especially when you're lying about it today. If you're lying about that and you're not admitting to what you did, come on. Anyways. So Marilyn did these videos. Marilyn Honing, Coffee, Cults, and Crafts, and you can go to her channel to watch these. It's a series of 4 videos, about 3 weeks to a month ago, and you'll see part 1, 2, 3, and 4, and start with a predator in her midst. And so this guy, he was caught doing exactly what I had just talked about 20 some years ago. And he, you can listen to the whole thing on Marilyn's channel. I'm not going to get into the details, and also Down the Rabbit Hole did a video on it as well. And I think Susie Oberholtz But First Coffee might have discussed it as well. So you can go to those channels to listen to the details of what they're talking about, but it's pretty much no different than what I was just talking about. And yeah, so same situation, same time frame, same type of work, and I'm telling you, it's the same person. I saw the picture. I pulled his face up to get a good look. And it just blows my mind that the coincidence in the well, way too many coincidences, and I don't believe in that. I'm no fool, to believe that, "Oh, oh my god, does he ever look like him? Oh, wow, same time frame. Oh my god, he, worked in a bakery's coffee shop. Oh, same stuff being done online. Gee, that can't be the same fella. It's the same fella, okay? Um, 99, I reserve that little tiny percent uh, for the rare fact, but come on. And those friggin' beady eyes. Ugh. When chills. Um, when, anyways, how ironic that I would never know the outcome, 100% sure, of what exactly happened. And always wonder, well, for the first bit, and then after that, it just went gone. Um, but, and then I got to take him off there. And then to become a part of this community and actually be watching this play out and go, "Oh my god, that is the same guy, and here he is again, online, doing the same thing that he did back then, and the bad mouthing other people, exactly the same, and he always had people feeling sorry for him. Oh, I can't stand this chat room and the guy that in that chat and the one that runs this, and the same thing. Not that I've watched any of his videos, but I listened to enough of what Marilyn was saying to know, oh my God, it's the same technique to the manipulative and bashing others. And it's all to take the attention off themselves. It's the same thing that was done with Aaron with uh, the aftermath and all that. Same thing. It's just to take the attention off of who they are while they're doing the crap that they've always done, and or trying to hide what they've done, or both. um, anyways, so that guy's a dirtbag. And I hope somebody reported that he is back online, because there's no way that he can't have in his whatever it's called, you know, that, you're not allowed around children, you're not allowed around school, you're not allowed around, like, there's no way that he's allowed online when he's been doing this shit online. And somebody said that he's hanging around the spots where the kids are. I can't remember the name of it because I'm not into all that, but it's not TikTok, but I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but you guys probably know, but it's where the more younger ones hang out. Well, it's the same thing he did back then. He's in that chat room where all the younger ones were coming in. And to listen to his apology, I'm so sorry to the ones, who confided into me about your stories, and you know who you are. Well, I guarantee you those are the young ones he's talking about that are confiding into him, because that's what he does. Oh, your parents mad at you and they kicked you out of the house, and that's how he's pulling them in. Um, anyways, the law enforcement needs to know that he's back online and he's hanging around the spots where the young ones are. And so, you know, and I think Marilyn and, just Marilyn and herself, she's no fool. I think she would have reported that, that hurt the information that she knows. Oh, what a dirt bag. Anyways, guys, we're at 50 minutes. I had other topics to talk about, but I'm glad I got that all out. I was actually nervous to do it because it gave me such a visceral effect. Seeing this, I'm glad I saw it. I'm no regrets. I'm glad I saw it, and I'm glad it was from Maryland, um, because it's Maryland, and uh, yeah, so no better way to have that information come my way but from Maryland and see that, oh my God, it's that dirt bag from 20 some years ago still doing what he does, and to hear that they did catch him all those years ago and he was charged. So, anyways, it's certainly not stopping him though, because there's no doubt in my mind he's doing it again. That's why he's on here, and that's why he's hanging out where the kids are. There's no other reason. What grown man would have to be around anywhere where kids are? Why? So, and hearing their stories of, their sad stories. No. 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 No, not unless you're a licensed professional to do so. Anyways, any youth watching this, stay away from that guy. He's disgusting. Go to Marilyn Honing's chats and listen. Well, I don't know if the youth are allowed, actually. That's the shame of it, where you have to put on here uh, whether the youth can watch that or not, because it's under 18 that he preys on. So, you know, anyways, and YouTube better deal with that too. It's disgusting. Anyways, guys, that's enough of mine. I'm sorry. So sick. Guys, story for the, somewhat icky video. I should have put a warning in the beginning too, I guess. I'm sorry I didn't, but I guess I didn't go too crazy with details and information. But lots of positive vibes to you all. You guys have a great, safe day. Happy Sunday. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Pretty sure of that. Take care, guys. Bye.